This week we feature a client service robot that has been employed by the University of Pretoria. But first, social media trends with Tonya Kuri.
With a net sentiment of over 85%, Heritage Day stormed across South Africa's charts. South Africa saw beautiful images flood our timelines about our heritage, and we reached some form of normality with a huge positive sentiment. Thank you so much for that, South Africa. And then Greta Thunberg, a name we'd never heard of before. She spoke, a 16-year-old girl that spoke about the atrocities of climate change in the US. In South Africa, we stood firmly on the side of Thunberg, but astonishingly, Trump made fun of her, and the Americans turned on the child in social media. In fact, the tweets are so outrageous if you read them from the American public. Robert Mugabe is still on the charts, position number 3, and this is largely due to the EFF meeting Grace Mugabe. And then the debacle between Peter Moyo and Old Mutual takes 4th position, a very interesting story, with Moyo seemingly having the upper hand here. Xenophobia drops down to number 5 this week as the streets are still, thank goodness. And another international story crashed the South African charts, Boris Johnson and the unbelievable stories coming out of the UK Parliament. It's left us glued to an international story yet again. The banking strike made the country empty out the ATMs in fear of the power of the banking system being shut down. We were so scared, I think, that everybody emptied out the ATMs this week. And then not a lot happened as we waited for the courts. Talk of grade 9 being the exit level for school left South Africa up in arms. A new story and bound to become a much larger story as the week progresses. People not happy about that at all. And then Thomas Cook shut its doors. And then the royal visit South Africa, full timelines with images of the 3 royals as South Africa welcomed them in true African style.
The SABC News app and website have been keeping our audiences in the look for big events. Let's have a look at what our users have read the most on the SABC News website. Zinhle Maditla receives 4 life sentences for killing her 4 children. 6,000 girls in 24 villages in the Northwest Province are either pregnant or have given birth. 9 suspects gunned down in a shootout with police at Isipingo, south of Durban. And finally, Mubango actor Matamela Ramabulana to be laid to rest on Saturday. Let's have a look at your tech news for this week.
I am Libby and I work in the library. Hi there, Professor Coupe.
In keeping with the University of Pretoria's focus on evolving in line with the 4th Industrial Revolution, Libby has been employed by the Department of Library Services at the university as the first client service robot. Libby can provide library visitors with directional guidance and answer some of other service questions.
Will you marry me?
I would love to, but there might be some logistical problems.
Yes, I'm not her type.
It has an array of over 60 sensors, cameras and software integrations that enable it to receive and process various commands and requests. The robot has a tablet integrated on its chest area for manual input. The brain is connected to Watson IBM's question answering computer system, which processes queries directed at the robot, and it runs off Android-based software. And what is even more interesting is that Libby can dance for you, play music, and it enjoys a light pat on the head. And that's all for this week. For SABC Digital News, I'm Wendy Mothata.
Certainly an interesting one there with regards to the robot Libby there indeed. Just